Welcome back to Privy. Privy is a podcast about bathrooms, recorded from my home bathroom. I'm your host, Hunter Hoover, and I love bathrooms. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. November's been kind of a weird month in many ways. We don't need to go into details because I'm sick of most of the details, but we had an election. Yeah, do whatever you want with that. I'm thrilled. But as we draw to the end of November, we kind of start to dance around the Thanksgiving season. And this is one of those rare years where our end of November episode release actually releases prior to November or prior to Thanksgiving. And so many of you, if you listen to our episodes when they come out, you have already listened to this episode before your Thanksgiving observances here in the United States. And so in many ways, this episode can serve both as a warning, but also a reminder related to the season. And in years past, I have detailed and we've gone into specifics about like the ideal Thanksgiving dinner lineup, classic sides. Sometimes I would almost prefer oops all sides Thanksgiving dinner. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we just had an abundance of sides. It'd be totally fine. I'm convinced that Kraft macaroni and cheese is still one of the most top tier Thanksgiving dishes, not sides, dishes that you can provide on a Thanksgiving Eve. And the reason I say that is because the kids are loving it. You know, I'm sure there's a child out there that doesn't like Kraft macaroni and cheese, but like I guarantee you that kid spends just copious amounts of minutes on an iPad. Like, you know, kids who touch grass like Kraft mac and cheese. That's facts. That's just facts. But there's a lot of opinions around a Thanksgiving meal. And I want to acknowledge, I am not a fan of many of the traditional Thanksgiving food offerings. I'm really a meat and taters type of guy, and it's fine. But boy, howdy. And I will note, my bathrooming after Thanksgiving does reflect that. It's usually unloaded on a bathroom that is not my own. Praise be to He. But nonetheless, this is also a reminder this Thanksgiving season to not overdo the Thanksgiving meal. You know, I would say if you did one Herbie fully loaded plate, and then one, what I like to call round two plate, that's where you visit your favorite portions of the Thanksgiving offering in what is the round two plate. And you go your Thanksgiving plate, you go your round two plate, and then you got to go at least one piece of pie. But I think of all the days of the year, health permitted, I think that 2 slices of pie is permitted if you have the room. Now, I'm a pumpkin and apple man myself, but really there's no bad pie. Like everybody, Thanksgiving, if anything, it makes us appreciate pie. But this is a reminder that as we load up plate 1 and round 2 plate and double serving of pie and whipped cream, because that's the other thing. You got to top that joker with some whipped cream. You just have to. But as you do that, you have to remember that what goes in must come out. And Thanksgiving Thursday is followed by not Black Friday, but Brown Friday here on the pod. Brown Friday is colloquially known as Brown Friday because it's the plumber's busiest day of the year. The year where they're going and unclogging your bog because you Thanksgiving turkey stuffed that joker full. It's clogged. They've got to come deal with it. Hence, Brown Friday. In years past, we've discussed Brown Friday at length, and we've gone over some top-tier lists of Thanksgiving sides and dishes that you can observe this holiday season. And you can consider this your public service announcement and reminder to not overdo it with the plumbing in your home. You might think to yourself, well, I sog that G pretty bad on a weekly basis. But when you start tacking 10, 20, 30, sometimes 40 family members in a 2-bathroom home, yeah, that plumbing is not designed for that. You do not have commercial grade plumbing in your house. Like, it's just not the way that your house is built. And if it is, good for you. And you should host Thanksgiving. But when you're 2 plates of turkey gravy, mashed taters deep, and on your maybe third, I said 2, but you're here. You might as well go 3rd slice of pie for the night. That's not the time to be having toilet panic. That's not the time to be worried about your toilet related to the fact that you have flushed, but things have not go down. It's got to go down. It simply must. It is a requirement of the post-Thanksgiving festivities for what you deposited into the throne to go down. Also, and this need not be said, but I think it does need be said. If we learned anything on our episode from Fatbergs last year, go listen to our episode on Fatbergs. Don't dump food grease down the toilet. Now, I'm guilty of this. I have definitely just greased the toilet with food grease and, tried to deposit that way. And I think 9 times out of 10, you're going to be okay. The problem is the fats and the oils and the such, they don't break down well. Usually when you're rinsing that stuff down your sink drain, your dish soap does a lot to help break down the fats and oils in the food grease to help it skeet and not fatberg your G so much. But you're going to clog your whole thing up. Just chill out. Put the food waste in the trash. If you've got liquid food waste, figure out how to deposit it into I like to make a little nest of paper towel. You make a little paper towel nest. You dump it down in the little paper towel nest. Let the grease live in the nest. You know what I'm saying? And then you just dump it in the trash. I know some people, they dump it in the yard. Whatever. I mean, the dog will probably lick it and he'll have diarrhea. But 'tis the season. In the vein of the season of taking time to be thankful, we are going to take a long overdue stroll to observe this year's World's Toilet Day observances and offerings. We're going to be focusing on America's participation in these ventures. And finally, we are going to, in thankfulness, try to take a moment and think about how things could be if our toilet landscape here where we live looked any different. Now, about this time last year, we discussed World Toilet Day on the show, as well as the history of where World Toilet Day came from. Yes, sir. Polar seltzer. Ruby red grapefruit. It's a good flavor. Still cannot track down the toasted coconut. Polar seltzer, if you're hearing me, you got to hook somebody up. I'm not saying I'd accept a case of it, but I would. But World Toilet Day is a day of advocacy and awareness to get people to work towards safe and sanitary access to all people in the world, especially those who may not have access to safe water and or safe and sanitary waste disposal. Now, their goal is to meet this expectation, this task of all people with safe water and sanitary waste removal by the year 2030. Now, that's just shy of little over 5 years from now. And I'm I hate to say it, but I feel like we're a bit off track. Sometimes I read this, I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I read this stuff and I think you're asking the wrong people. For 30 seconds before he got sued for whatever he got sued for or whatever, unless he didn't, and then I just don't know current events and news. I don't keep track of YouTubers. It's too much for me. But before he had his little legal debacle, Mr. Beast was all over the news. He's digging wells in Africa, and he's helping people with life-changing surgeries here in the United States or whatever. And that's all very good. Recently, just a month or two ago, Elon Musk caught a rocket out of outer space. And then he gave a bunch of people struggling in Appalachia after the hurricanes access to Starlink internet. And it's just Bada bing. And I feel like if we could get a bunch of these like philanthropists and entrepreneurs and, lack of a better term, our soon to be president calls these people our geniuses. If we tasked some of our geniuses with solving this bathroom problem, we could get it done in less than 5 years. Or at least we would be on track to have it done. And so that's one problem is I think we're commissioning the wrong people to accomplish these goals. I think the people that we ought to be commissioning are catching rockets out of space and making just apparently trainloads of cash on YouTube. But I think the other problem is, and I want you to be honest about this, listener. And this is no shade to World Toilet Day. World Toilet Day, if you can hear me, get serious here for a second. This is no shade to you. But listener, if it was not for this show right now, other than this podcast, this episode that you're listening to, and possibly the episode that we did covering World Toilet Day last year, would you have any idea about World Toilet Day? Would you have even known that this was a thing? Unless you're like one of those weird people that gets on Google daily to check what's the weird day of the week? Oh, look at that. It's Weird Peanut Butter and Jelly Sandwiches is Shoes Day. Unless you're one of those people, other than this podcast, truly would you have known about World Toilet Day? Like, I know about it because my Google searches have been very much skewed against me at this point. Like, they exist to yield just the most bizarre bathroom-related content, for lack of a better way of saying it. And I'm going to note, they did move the needle a little bit recently. So the trouble is like, I'm starting to wonder, apart from this, how would we even know about it? They got to do something more to get the word out about World Toilet Day. For goodness sakes, World Toilet Day was on November 19th. Watch, I probably even got that wrong. And because I am recording late, I am recording this episode after World Toilet Day. This episode is releasing nearly a week after World Toilet Day. It's baffling. And did you hear anything about it? No. I'm sorry. I heard about it because half of the Privycast social was covered in it. But like, I'm starting to wonder, are they doing something to get the word out? And what exactly are they doing to get to work on these things? Because this year, the press release announcing World Toilet Day states that there are, quote, 3.5 billion people without access to clean sanitation throughout the world, and 419 million people who regularly practice open defecation, skeeting it in the wild. And that's awful. And that's a very sad thing. Now, I'm confident that there's a number of those open defecation number that they do it because they don't know any better. You know, they live in the middle of nowhere. They live in the woods or the wilderness or the jungle. And that's just where everybody poops. Also, open defecation, I don't know if that accounts for those who bury their poop or if that's just like you're skeeting it right outside the door. I don't know. But those numbers aren't good. It's a sad thing. I don't want anybody to be without a safe and secure way to deal with their poop. That's almost half the population that doesn't have access to clean sanitation. That's not good. But the trouble is about this is this is 2024 numbers. Those are the same numbers from 2023 last year. That's the same, almost the exact same press release. And while that's frustrating, I want to note they didn't move the needle much in 2022. In 2022, they said that there was 3.6 billion without sanitary waste disposal. 100 million in a year. That's not nothing. That's very good. But then what happened? Because it doesn't seem like we've moved. Now, there's been improvement, but as you can hear and as you can tell by this, there is a lot of work to do. And I think the trouble with World Toilet Day is, again, it's good. The idea is good. Getting awareness and building this thing is good. The trouble is it's just relatively unknown. And it seems to be focusing on raising awareness. And if I've learned anything, making someone aware of something does very little to motivate them or help them take action toward a remedy to the thing that they are aware of. For World Toilet Day this year, they settled on the theme of toilets, a place for peace. Not when I'm using it. There's nothing peaceful going on down there in those sessions. And this is the essential message of the United Nations World Toilet Day theme of toilets being a place for peace. Number one, this is not their number one, but Polar Seltzer tastes better on the toilet. That's just facts. Toilet and shower, or in mid-mowing your lawn. But toilets are a place for peace. That is because they are essential spaces at the center of our lives that should be safe and secure. They note that for billions of people, sanitation is under threat from conflict, climate change, disasters, and neglect. Number two, toilets are a place for protection. Toilets create a barrier between us and our fat shaz. No, and our waste. Sanitation services are essential for the public and environmental health. When toilet systems are inadequate, when they are damaged, or when they are broken, pollution spreads and deadly diseases get unleashed. Check out, we've talked a lot about cholera on our show. Cholera is not our friend. It is bad news for us. It sogs the whole bog every time. Just stay away from the cholera. Third, toilets are a place for progress. Sanitation is a human right. It protects everyone's dignity, especially transforms the lives of women and girls. More investment and better governance of sanitation are crucial for a fair, more peaceful world. It ought not to need to be said, but we love toilets here on Privy. We're big fans. If we haven't made that clear. Like, if the premise of this show has escaped you, we're a big fan of toilets. This show is founded and has its beginnings in being thankful for toilets. But listen, World Toilet Day, listen to me. It's still a toilet. Like, to say toilets are a place of peace and protection and progress, I get what you mean, and I get your alliteration. You had to go for the 3 Ps, the PP, you know what I'm saying, PPP. But for many people, the jump from getting people to not just buy into World Toilet Day as an idea, but getting them to buy into toilets as a place for peace is a bit of a jump, and you need to chill the heck out. Like, why don't you get people psyched about toilets first, and then you can try to sell them on this idea of like, ooh. Like, yes, you're correct. But I think it would be better served to focus in on what you have to be thankful for. It should be like World Toilet Day. Thank God you didn't have to carry your skeet out into the road. Like, thank God that after you released your bowels, you were done interfacing with your waste. I get what you mean. Yes, places of peace, places of protection, places of progress. But like, it is a toilet. Rather, I think they're better to focus on being thankful for the toilet you have. Because being thankful is a good motivator to people and helping them take action and moving towards solutions. Just like last year, the World Toilet Day has a number of ways that you can get involved. Kind of little on this one. The primary is awareness. Use the hashtag World Toilet Day 2024. So like, do that. But they also note you can make a poster promoting World Toilet Day. Come up with fun slogans. I'd bet you'd do better than they did. And they can even organize a game day or a dance to raise awareness. Could you imagine the like Doobie County of class of 2024 presents the Hoogity Boogity Shake Your Toogity, bring it on down for World Toilet Day fundraiser, fun race for the cure. Like, welcome to Hunter Hoovie's late night hoot nanny and jig for the cause. You know, I like wiggle your butt to remind everyone some people don't have toilets. I don't know, but that's what they said to do. Again, I don't think the organized dance events are what it is. It didn't move the needle last year. And if I had a suggestion to the UN water people in conjunction with World Toilet Day, it's this. Join up with other things that are going on. There's other people that are getting hyped for toilets. Reach out. Say, hey, let's do something. One example of this is the possibility of partnering with organizations and agencies like the American Restroom Association. In 2004, Stephen Soifer, who knows, co-founded the American Restroom Association. Stephen Soifer founded the International Paruresis Association. That's paruresis is pee shyness. So he's like the king of pee shy. Old Daddy Pee Shy coming to get you. But this was a non-profit promoted to research in a variety of bathroom ailments. Stephen Soifer's work helped the non-profit gain legs, and almost 10 years later, he went to found the American Restroom Association out of the state of Maryland. And once again, I have some notes. When you go to the American Restroom Association's website, there's not a lot of information about the background and purpose of the association. But when you access Soifer's own personal website, you find out that the ARA, the American Restroom Association, is a quote-unquote full-scale toilet transformation in the country. So our restrooms are not the laughingstock of the developed world. Bold claim. It's a bold claim there, Stephen. I guess I didn't know I was the laughingstock. You know what I'm saying? Like, your claim makes some assertions that I didn't know were even on the table. But if this is true, work seems to come alongside his other worlds to help restrooms be not only more desirable and good to use publicly, but as well as helping already in place restrooms to be better. Such scopes and things that the American Restroom Association seeks to include is focusing on restroom design and technology, the availability and accessibility of restrooms, and legislation and regulation related to restrooms. Now, I think I know the answer to this, but I pray that the American Restroom Association has enough brains to realize that letting men in women's bathrooms is idiotic and stupid. We've covered this on the show, and this is not a political thing. This is just a simple, if you are a man, you don't need to be in a women's bathroom. If you were ever even going to attempt to be a man in any way, you don't need to be in there. Go to the men's room. End of story. If ever you were a man, if you even thought you were a man, go to the women's restroom. No, that's stupid. Go to the men's restroom. You don't need to be in the women's restroom. See? It's just that simple. Now, are they wasting money on advocating for, we can all take a fat deuce wherever we want? I have no idea. The goal of the ARA is noble. We here at Privy, we love improving bathrooms. We like when we walk into a bathroom. That's what Toilet Tuesday is all about. Toilet Tuesday is all about walking into a bathroom going, it's a nice bathroom. Look at a picture of that. It's good. The goal of the World Toilet Day is noble. People need safe sanitation. That's good. But getting the word out is not happening. We need a little, use a little bit, they have to have some money sitting around. Use some of that money to get things going. Think of it think of World Toilet Day and American Restroom Association. Think of your funding like a laxative. You got to get a little bit, and sometimes you have to introduce it up the backside, a little suppository, just really young, to get stuff moving. It's okay. I think if I saw another political ad earlier this month, I was canceling it all. America needs to develop their bathroom technology. It's good for them. But in all these, whether we're looking at the World Toilet Day and realizing how fortunate we are that we live in a part of the world that has access to a system of waste removal that truly deals with our turds. If I drop skeet right now and I hit that beautiful, beautiful little flush, it's gone. I don't have to think about it. We live in a part of the world that has good access to bathrooms. We're developing bathroom technology, and we can and ought this time of year we ought to take time to be thankful. And I really think that the World Toilet Day being so close to Thanksgiving could do a lot to help raise not just awareness, but awareness via the way of thankfulness. Thankfulness is good. It can be a driving force for accomplishment. World Toilet Day was last week, and I hope that though they were focused on peace, brother, that we can all agree we have much to be thankful for here. If you don't like dumping a bucket of crap out in the ditch every time you drop skeet, you have so much to be thankful for in your toilet. If you don't like rinsing your butthole or wiping yourself with ferns or old weird moss or shirts that you have laying around, you've got a lot to be thankful for. This stuff right here is pretty great. It's pretty great. Toilet paper, big fan. It's all messed up now, but it's good stuff. And when you wake up or before you go to bed, if you're one of those people, or you get done with a rigorous workout and you're just drapping with sweat, the feeling of hot water on demand in many cases, rushing over you, washing the day away, washing the sleep away, waking you up, the dark shower first thing in the morning it just hits different. We have much to be thankful for. And this season, as Thanksgiving, at the point of this episode releases, Thanksgiving is but 3 days away. Maybe you're listening to this on Thanksgiving. You have much to be thankful for. Be thankful. You live in a time where these things are a part of our lives. Be thankful if you live in a part of the country that has access to clean water and clean sanitation. Be thankful for it. And if you're not, sorry, let people know. Reach out. And if you are one of those that does, there's ways that you can get involved. World Toilet Day is one, raising awareness, but there's things that you can go and give to help out. One of those that we do here on the show is Living Water. Living Water has the goal of providing clean, safe access to potable drinking water to parts of the world that do not yet have it. And as we close the show, I want to remind you, every rating or review you leave down below, you can leave those on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. We donate $1 to the Wounded Warriors and Living Water International. And I think for the month of December, we might bump that up to a couple bucks. So leave us a rating or review. If you're listening to this right now, as you finish me close the show, this is, as I tell people, it's just you and I here, right? As I close the show, I tell people when I have a guest, it's like looking at your dog taking a fat deuce in the backyard. I'm currently going to take a fat deuce. Not really, but metaphorically I am. While I take my crap and tell you about our socials and all of these things, leave us a rating or review. 5-star options are preferred. Leave us a comment. Say, hey, great show. Somebody at one point says the crappiest pod around left is 5 stars. I see you. I love you. Leave us a rating review. Share us on social media. If you want to say hello, email us, privycast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on social media. We're at Privycast on all social media. You can follow me. I'm at Owlet7. If you're brave, you can follow Randy Bowles at Randy Bowles. If you want to see bowls just full of human, just really sogging those bowls, you can go follow that. Thanks to Kevin and Poddington for the use of their music this week. You can check their music out in the ding dong below. This has been another episode of Privy. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep pooping in the free world. Own your stank. And now, as always, don't forget to flush.